Diesel is pushing $3 a litre, and hundreds of service stations across the country are completely dry. This isn't a headline from a dystopian movie. This is Mad Max playing out on our roads, right now. And the most infuriating part? This was not an accident. It was a predictable outcome, engineered by decades of short-sighted decisions made by people who are supposed to be protecting us. In this video, we are going to expose exactly how those decisions systematically dismantled our security, and why you are the one now paying the price. You'll get the framework to secure your family's finances against this chaos. But to understand how to protect your future, you first need to understand our past, because the shocking truth is, Australia wasn't always this vulnerable, in that we were once an energy fortress. That's not an exaggeration, it's a fact, written in the data. To understand the sheer scale of what we have lost, and why your family's budget is now at the mercy of global chaos, you need to see the brutal before and after picture. First, let's look at the before. Not even that long ago, in the early 2000s, Australia's own refineries could supply nearly 98% of all the petrol and diesel we needed. Think about that. 98%. We were insulated. A crisis in the Middle East, a blocked shipping lane. That was a headline, not a direct threat to our way of life. We were secure. We held the keys to our own economy. Go back to 1985, and we were producing more oil than we used. Now, fast forward to today, the after. According to the Institute for Energy Economics and Financial Analysis, that 98% self-sufficiency has vanished. Today, our own refineries supply just 17% of our refined fuel, from 98 down to 17. For every 10 litres of fuel you put in your car, almost 9 of them are imported. We are over 80% dependent on other countries for the very lifeblood of our nation. It's a situation so absurd, it's almost black comedy. We are one of the world's largest energy exporters, yet for the actual fuel we need to run our trucks, trains and tractors, we are forced to go with a begging bowl to Singapore, to South Korea, and ask them to sell us back our own energy in a refined form. We sold the farm and now we're begging for scraps from the table. This wasn't a gradual decline. It was a catastrophic collapse, a deliberate demolition of a core pillar of our national strength. And the most important question is why? How could a series of decisions, each one supposedly rational and economic, lead to this? We need to unpack the flawed logic that was used to justify this, because that's the key to understanding what happens next. The answer, the reason why, lies in a single, fatally flawed idea that was sold to us as smart economics. The idea that our country's fuel supply should be treated like any other commodity on the global market. It wasn't an accident. It was a choice, driven by a logic that seemed rational on a spreadsheet, but was suicidal in reality. First, let's look at the brutal numbers. Our old refineries, like the one in Geelong, were up against an impossible fight. A single new mega refinery in India can process about 1.24 million barrels of oil every single day. That one facility can supply more fuel than our entire country uses. In contrast, our two remaining refineries, Lytton and Geelong, have a combined capacity of just 230,000 barrels per day. They cover only about 20% of our needs. On a pure cost per barrel basis, it was a fight we were engineered to lose. So, the smart business decision was to shut them down. This led to the second, more dangerous step, creating a dependency loop. The logic was simple. We would take our own high-quality crude oil, sell it to the world for a nice profit, and then turn around and buy back cheaper, mass-produced fuel from those giant Asian refineries. It's like owning a prize-winning vineyard, but you decide to sell all your premium grapes to an overseas conglomerate, fire all your local winemakers, and then just buy back their generic cask wine to drink. You get a quick hit of cash for the grapes, but you've lost control. You've lost the craft. You've lost the ability to ever make your own wine again. But hold on. If you're thinking, well, that just sounds like smart business. Sell high, buy low, then you've swallowed the bait. The real poison in this deal wasn't the trade itself. The real trap, the part that makes this collapse nearly irreversible, was the industrial capability we chose to destroy in the process. We didn't just close factories, we dismantled a critical piece of our national sovereignty. In essence, we subjected ourselves to a miniature resource curse. We chose the short-term cash from exporting raw materials over the long-term security of controlling our own energy supply chain from start to finish. And the result? Today, we export 96% of our own crude oil, only to become the nation with the world's largest trade deficit in refined petroleum products. We sold our security for a quick buck. But this economic theory couldn't have wrecked our country on its own. It needed permission. It required successive governments from both sides of politics to look at this clear act of strategic self-sabotage and simply nod it through year after year. And in the next section, we're not talking theory anymore. We're going to pull out the receipts. I will show you the black and white proof of how they knew this was coming and exactly what they chose to do and not do about it. Alright, here's the receipt I promised. For over 20 years, the entire debate around our fuel security was framed as a contest. Market efficiency versus national security. This document proves which side won every single time. This is from the Australian government's own 2012 Energy White Paper. It states, and I'm quoting directly, that a reduced domestic refining capacity will not impact on Australia meeting its liquid fuel requirements due to reliable, mature, and highly diversified international fuel supply chains. Let that sink in. It wasn't an oversight. It was official government policy, written in black and white, to let our refineries die and assume the world would always sell us cheap fuel. With that official green light, the slow-motion train wreck picked up speed. Just look at this grim roll call. Port Stanback in Adelaide, gone in 2003, then Clyde in Sydney, gone in 2013. Kurnell, also Sydney, gone just a year later in 2014. Bulwer Island in Brisbane, gone in 2015. And then the final fatal blows in 2021, with both Kwinana in Perth and Altona in Melbourne closing their gates for good. This wasn't one government's mistake. This was a systemic, bipartisan failure. And here's the brutal reality of those decisions. When you shut down a refinery and convert it into a simple import terminal, you don't just lose a facility. You lose the irreplaceable skills, the complex engineering, the entire industrial capability. It is a one-way door. You cannot just decide to turn it back on when a crisis hits. Every single one of those closures was signed off as a sensible business decision. For 2 decades, politicians chose market theory over resilience. And now, the bill for those decisions has arrived. The price is being taken directly from your wallet, your savings, and your family's financial security every single day. And it's that price, the real cost to you, that we are going to break down next. So, how does a bad decision in Canberra 10 years ago end up costing you more for a loaf of bread today? It's a direct line. Imagine a crisis flares up in the Middle East and our fuel ships are delayed by a week. With our paper-thin reserves, that delay isn't a minor problem. It's a national emergency. The price of diesel, the lifeblood of our economy, spikes overnight. Suddenly, the truck that delivers your food costs hundreds of dollars more to run. The farmer harvesting your vegetables has to start rationing fuel. The end result? By the time that loaf of bread or head of lettuce reaches the supermarket shelf, its price has gone up. This isn't a future threat. This is the cost of living pressure you are feeling right now. The warnings from experts you see on the news about 50% spikes in food prices, that's not fear-mongering. It's the inevitable result of this fragility. But that's not even the worst part. The final insult is what they're doing right now with your tax dollars to fix it. The solution is actually a multi-billion-dollar admission of failure, and the numbers prove it. For years, we were told that our refineries had to close because they weren't commercially viable. Yet, the government just extended the Fuel Security Services payment, a subsidy program, all the way to 2030. As Argus Media reported, this is an official admission that our last 2 refineries cannot survive without being propped up by taxpayer money. We are now paying billions to keep a system on life support that we were told was too inefficient to save. And while we pay for that, how secure are we? The international standard, which we are obligated to meet, is a 90-day strategic fuel reserve. Official government data from October 2025 shows Australia has about 50 days. We have not been compliant since 2012. For diesel, the stuff our trucks and trains actually run on, we have as little as 30 days of cover. 30. We are running on fumes, paying for the privilege, and pretending it's a plan. 30 days. We're running on fumes, paying for the privilege, and pretending it's a plan. So, how does a country that is one of the largest energy exporters in the world end up in a position where it cannot even fuel itself? The story of Australia's fuel security is one of 1,000 small rational cuts that led to a massive hemorrhage of national resilience. We went from being a self-sufficient fortress to a nation utterly dependent on fragile supply chains. The unspoken truth is, we did this to ourselves. Each time a refinery closed, we were told it was about efficiency. We chose the short-term gain of cheaper imports over the long-term security of making our own. Stacked up over decades, those commercial decisions became a catastrophic failure of national strategy. The bill for that choice is now due. The real question now isn't just how we fix it, but how we learn from it. The first rule is to never again mistake simple commercial logic for a sound national strategy. To make sure we learn the right lessons, we have to agree on the diagnosis. So, looking back at this timeline, what do you think was the point of no return for Australia's fuel security? Was it the government's 2012 no-risk assessment, or the closure of the last major refinery in 2021? Share your view in the comments. If you believe that understanding these deep systemic issues is the first step to protecting your own financial future, then subscribe and join us. This is for the people who demand to understand how the engine of our country actually works and who is accountable when it breaks.